everyone. This is RAND, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Monday, January 27, 2025, up to 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We'll be having a Time for Change call Wednesday night after 9:15 p.m. Eastern. We're going to review a lot of things that have taken place with clarity. Seems there's a lot of people that are confused. Ask yourself this question: true heart-mindedness. And am I in deep gratitude 24/7? It's just be straight with yourself and honest and see what your answer is to yourself. It's all about high vibration. In our words, right? If someone's agitated, you can tell, right? You can tell if they're agitated by their voices. A lot of times. You can tell by body language too. That's a vibrational frequency. But most of the time, you're talking with someone, you pick up pretty quickly if they're irritated. It's not difficult for us to do that, since we're all part of each other. And the feeling you receive from it, is low. It isn't pleasant. And the positive part about that is that it reinforces for us our motivation to be the opposite. We have these energies that we use. Everything is. The God that we are, the pure consciousness, is energy. The body's energy. All of our words are energy. Our movement is energy. Everything is energy. It's just different forms. If someone looks at a tree, well, that's not energy. It is if you give it heat. It provides warmth. The wood. Water's energy. The oceans on the planet. There isn't anything that is not energy. Grain of sand's energy. Now, we don't look at it that way most of the time because we're so in this hustle-bustle, material, physical life. But when you start realizing that everything is energy, when you walk, the atmosphere is energy. It's pure energy. So when you walk, the molecules respond. You can't see them with the eyes that you have. But the molecules around you respond. If you were to go up and knock on a wall, right? Drywall, you go up and knock on it. Where you were knocking, it sends out vibrational frequencies, energies, that affect for a moment the molecular structure of that wall. And then it comes back together. In other words, if you were able to understand that, comprehend it completely, you could focus on your molecular body, right? And you would understand that if you accelerated the molecules in your body, the wall, and you would accelerate the molecules in the wall, you would be able to walk right through it. Interesting, isn't it? In fact, all solid matter isn't solid. Well, isn't it? What about brick wall? No. What about steel wall? Nope. Nothing is solid. It's all matter. It's designed in different ways. It's designed in different ways. We don't think about that. We don't focus on that. What about your vehicle? Is it solid? No. Everything, you could picture it. Everything is like a wave, okay? Wherever you go, you affect the wave. However you think, however you feel, you affect everything around you. Doesn't it make sense that you are all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever? And it is you. So it isn't difficult to look at the fact that your energy and everything else is energy. You affect the energy affects you. But see, you're highly conscious energy. So if you were able to focus, and you will eventually, you will focus on anything knowing that you affect it. There's no doubt. There's no fear. Total trust. Total faith. Total confidence. That you just focus on something, you want to change it. And you do. And when you do, you're aware of it. It's not ego mind. It's just at will. You focus, you change things. Been proven thousands of times. Every one of us. When we focus on something, we change it. How does it change? It depends on how we feel. Heart, mind. Okay? Well, can't we just do it with our heads, our ego minds? Yeah, on occasion, it happens. It slips through. But see, the ego mind looks at things as very arduous and tasking. Heart mind, it's easy peasy because we're part of it and it's part of us. Why wouldn't we be able to create anything we desire? Pretty simple. Of course, most of us are supervised and controlled by the ego mind, and we don't know it. And eventually we're going to learn that heart-mindedness is the way we evolve, not ego mind. Ego mind, we have continually not evolved through ego mind. Heart-mindedness, we will move more and more into higher vibrational frequencies knowingly. It's no longer an unknown factor. Now, see, the ego mind, since we're so used to being managed by it, it's kind of difficult for us to see that. So I suggest people feel it first. And when you focus on things, see, it's interesting. You could, let's say that okay, I'm going to focus on something that I want. But there's that little twinge, kind of like a feeling that, oh, it's not going to work, it's not going to work, it's not going to work. At the same time you're focusing, that feeling is like, oh, it's not going to work. What am I doing? This is silly. And so as soon as you negate it, it stops forming because you doubt it. A doubting energy cancels it out. And why is that? What is that connected to? Well, it's connected to a lot of things. How we're influenced as children, how we're influenced as adults in this social structure on planet Earth, which is the human psyche. So there's a lot of things involved that direct our attention in the opposite direction. Whereas most of our attention on this planet is, in this very now moment, worry, stress, and fear, anxiety. Not knowing what's going to come tomorrow, what's going to come a week, a month from now, right? And worried about that. Does it make any sense? Because it isn't in the now. When we worry about tomorrow and we focus on it, we create it. We create our future. So whatever you're thinking or feeling about tomorrow, and you're focused on it, you're going to create it. And see, it's all about you. It isn't about anything else. It's about you, because all of us are one, as the gods that we are, appearing in an illusion of separation so that we can experience different ways. So that means that you're never left behind, ever. You're never left behind, because you're part of all that there is, ever has. All of us are. This is why we call it the collective consciousness. You have no idea that when you're focusing, random things. You kind of put your attention on it for a period of time, then it's gone, and you just forget about it. And then there's sometimes you'll notice, I was just thinking about that, and here it is. We've all had that experience more than once. Most people just kind of go, wow, that's wild, and they just move on. Others will start keying in on it. So I was focusing on that, and then here it is. But I was focusing on it without any inferences from the ego mind. It slipped through. It got outside the ego mind. It went out as heart mind. And it manifested quickly. But see, once you, it's kind of like the sweet spot. Once you identify that, and you know, when you're not concerned, when you're not stressing, when you're not worried, when you're not fearful, you're in the now. And like I said, you can be in the now all day long. As I've mentioned, you can be in a walking meditation. You can be in a washing dishes meditation. You could be in a vacuuming the floor meditation. You can always be meditating. I think people believe that, well, you just gotta sit silent for a period of time. Like Buddha would go under Siddhartha would go under the Bodhi tree. Bodhi it would give seeds, right? This is a lot of malas are made out of. Malas, the original rosary, if you will. And he would sit under there for days, doing nothing, with his eyes closed. He was meditating. Lao Tzu would do the same thing. Did Jesus do the same thing? Absolutely. But you can also realize that you're meditating. You can be meditating 24/7, and it's not in a fixed position. In these meditations, you find a place where you're comfortable. You have no outside interference. You relax into the body. This is the only way that we can truly relax. Relaxing into the body. We're still as a statue, and we focus on our breath rising or falling, or some people focus on the space between heartbeats, or both. And that's meditation. Because we don't care to be under the management of ego mind. We know what it is. It's not a negative. It's there, like I've said, to teach us how to master it, which means that it's looking for peace outside, and it never finds it. That's why lifetime after lifetime, we inherit the ego mind in the body, even though it's an illusion. And that illusion begins to dissipate once we comprehend that all it's looking for is peace. It then finds that peace through your heart-mindedness, and it just kind of lays back in the background, and it becomes your tool for a period of time, and then it's gone. Now, see, we've learned the difference, some of us, where we have the heart-mindedness, right? And we have the ego mind. And we know what it feels like to be in either ego mind or heart mind. That's key for us, that I know I'm an ego mind right now. I don't care to be an ego mind right now, so I'm going to move into my heart mind. And you focus on the center of your chest, and you relax into the body. And you move into now, the moment, leaving the ego mind alone. It's still there, but it only exists in yesterday and tomorrow. And how many people do you believe on this planet in this very now moment are in that they're focused on yesterday and tomorrow all the time? It's either something yesterday or past, or something that hasn't even materialized in the future, like tomorrow, or an hour from now, or a month from now. And the funny thing is the irony to it is that we stop our natural abundance that flows to us all the time. Because remember, we're super powerful, supreme, manifesting, abundant beings that never die. That's what we are in these bodies. While we're in these bodies, once we make that connection with the God source, when what we are in these bodies, we can manifest anything. That's it right there. That's the formula. That sounds real easy. But then when you begin to apply it, because of beliefs that you have picked up from childhood into adulthood, they're not easy to put aside, right? And I think that goes for all of us in different ways. We don't care to, because that's fiber. That's what we help make us who we are today in this life. So a lot of us are reluctant to let go of that, to release it. It doesn't serve you the greatest good. It served you for the period of time it needed to serve you, and that's it. What is the evolution for this civilization? It's heart-mindedness. It is being in the now 24/7. We move out of yesterday and tomorrow. We're no longer there. We evolve into the now. We are focused on the moment. We are focused on our thoughts because we have mastered them. We're in the process of mastering our thoughts, and we master our ego mind. It then becomes our servant, and then eventually it isn't there anymore because we have learned it is no longer needed. And then we know the difference between the two. We have lived ego mind for a long time. And we're evolving out of ego mind. This is what's happening. This is why things seem to be lighter. Frequencies seem to be loving, nurturing, embracing, rather than pulling and ripping and tearing. And the reason that is because many of us are recognizing the fact that we are evolving by our choice, not by some technology that's going to come in and flash you and everything's done for you. Okay? We won't, as a collective, we won't allow that to happen because we won't learn. It's the experience of it. What would you do if all the time, things were being done for you? You didn't have to lift a finger ever, period. You could sit forever, do nothing, and have everything done for you. How long would it take for you to say, wow, this was great in the beginning? And you'd have to be careful because you could be lulled into that and get used to it. You would do no movement, really, no exercise, and you would kind of like, you'd have some kind of technology that would carry you around. You would atrophy because anything that you were active with, where you did things for yourself, would atrophy. You would no longer do anything for yourself. How long would it take us to shed that, to realize that this would not be a good way for us? Because remember, we're creators. So if we aren't creating, what are we doing? Like a bunch of slugs in the mud. Do we really care to be that way? I don't believe so. I believe that us gods in these bodies, we come to full awareness. We know we're the God in the body explicitly. We don't doubt it. We don't question it anymore because we know what we're doing. We know why we're in the body. We created these bodies as source creation to afford us the opportunity to know what it's like to feel. That's it. What do you think these bodies were created for? So that we could feel. We don't feel in the way as the gods that we are when we're outside the body than we do when we're in it. It's different. But while we're in the body, we feel. Every one of us do. I don't care if you have a smug look on your face, but underneath all kinds of things are happening. Right? There's a lot of people like that. You can't look at the cover of the book and really know what's going on inside. The cover of the book is a distraction. And it's all about us knowing ourselves inside now, without judgment, ridicule, and criticism on ourselves. The only reason that we criticize, ridicule, and judge others is because that's what we do to ourselves. That's the only reason we do it. If we're compelled to judge somebody, right, we're looking at something, and we start talking and say, why are they doing that? And how come they're doing that? And why are they dressed that way? And that looks ugly. Ooh, look at their hair. Look at the color of their shoes. You know what I mean? We've all done that. None of us are exempt from it. Because we're not happy with ourselves. And when we're happy with ourselves and we treat ourselves with gentleness, kindness, and happiness, we will do that with everything around us. It will spread out. It won't be caustic, interruptive, all those things that sometimes we experience for ourselves so others will experience it. Look at the experience that we have had for so many lifetimes. If you walk up, usually, you walk up to anybody, and it may sound simple. Do you know the difference between good and bad? I think most of us, since we've experienced it so many times, we know. We know what good is. We know what bad is. Different perspectives, but our perception is this is bad. Killing someone is bad. Loving someone is good. Honesty is good. Dishonesty is bad. So we make these correlations as we experience. And believe you me, all of us have had many, many, many lifetimes. So it's not like, oh, well, we didn't, we don't know this because we didn't do this. We've done it. No matter what it is, we have done it. In other words, we have experienced it in former lifetimes. People say, well, why can't we remember? You will. You will know when you are ready to know your past lives. You will know it. A lot of people say to themselves, they're really not interested in knowing that, because what if they see a lifetime they had where they were absolutely horrible? Because you know something? We've all had lifetimes like that. And then we've had lifetimes that were absolutely spectacular. Absolutely blow the roof off. But look at the richness of that. This is why we, the gods, the collective consciousness, created all of this. It's fascinating to us. And when we know that who you really are, never dies. Your eternity. You're forever. Nothing really ever ends. It's just, it goes to a new beginning. In other words, you're reading chapters in a book, right? The first, that chapter seemingly seems to end, but you turn the page and it continues in a different way. Do the gods that are, let's say, so the God that I am within this body, it never ends. Never ends. But along the way, we take on energetic forms. And energy can form anything. It can be in any shape, size, color, configuration. And it can appear solid. You knock on it, chop it, do all kinds of things. But in actuality, it's fluid. This is why with our thoughts, when we direct, when we focus on something, this is why particles begin to appear, because we're moving the energy around us. We're configuring, along with the universe, we're configuring that energy into something, into our physical material experience. This is what manifesting is about. And when you can picture that everything is energy, you can form it through your intent and manifest it. You imagine that everything, everything is pure energy. We are focused. See, we are focused energy. We are highly conscious energy. So what we can do is we can direct through all this energy and form things through that energy. I join in the meditation. I'll return to close this out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. And an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain relaxed into your body. Still as a statue. Focus on your breath rising and falling in the space between heartbeats. Out of pure nothingness, your awareness is manifesting everything you see around you. Everything. Every thought you think is creating your reality. Reality is based on whatever you choose to think about and imagine. There are no limits to what you could do with your life. Start today with this approach and attitude today that you are manifesting whatever you focus upon. This universe is always holding its infinitely empty canvas out in front of you. Paint whatever you want on it. Your future is already bright and flawless. It's like a clean slate brimming with infinite potential, energy, and creativity. When you open yourself up to this blank canvas, you tap into your unlimited potentiality. You access your power to manifest whatever you wish, want, and desire. So what new brushstrokes are you going to be adding today? Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, and the following morning. And we will return here Tuesday, January 28th, 2025, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times. No matter what's going on within you or outside of you, open your heart and allow the magic to flow in.